1. Introduction. My name is Brittany. 2 years ago, at 22, I was a tired art history student. My family had little money, so I worked long hours at a small cafe. I used the money for books and my small room. My days were busy, classes in the morning, then working as a waitress in the afternoon and evening. At night, I was very tired, but I had to study. Every day, a quiet old man named Robert was a regular customer. He came every afternoon at 3 o'clock, sitting at the same table by the window. He had white hair and kind, blue eyes, always wearing a nice suit. He looked rich, but was simple. He always ordered 1 black coffee and a slice of apple pie, reading his newspaper. He never spoke much, just hello and thank you. But his soft smile made my difficult days a little better. One day, I had a very bad day. My teacher said my essay was not good. My boss was angry because I was late. I dropped a tray of coffee cups and they broke. I felt tears and wanted to cry. I went to clean the mess. Robert was still at his table. He looked at me with sadness, not anger. When I took his empty cup, he spoke. "Are you all right, young lady?" he asked. His voice was calm. I just shook my head, a tear falling. I was so embarrassed. He put a hand gently on my arm. "Everyone has bad days," he said. "You work very hard, I see it." His words felt like a warm blanket. I looked at him and said, "Thank you." When he left, I found money under his cup. It was not his usual small tip. It was a $100 bill. I ran outside to give it back. "Sir, you made a mistake," I said. He smiled. "It is not a mistake, Brittany. Buy something nice or take a night off." He knew my name. I never told him my name. I was just a waitress. But he saw me. That day, something changed. 2. A strange question. After that day, Robert started to talk to me more. He asked about my studies. I told him about art history. I spoke about the beautiful paintings and old buildings I loved. His eyes looked happy when I talked. He told me he loved art, too. He traveled the world to see it. Our small talks at the cafe became the best part of my day. He was smart and interesting. He listened to my dreams. No one ever listened to me like that. He was 65 years old and I was 22. He was old enough to be my grandfather, but when we talked, I did not feel the age difference. I just felt a good connection with a kind person. One cold evening, about 1 month later, he waited for me. My shift at the cafe was finished. It was dark and I was afraid to walk home alone. "Brittany," he said. He stood by a beautiful, expensive car. "Let me drive you home." I was surprised, but I said yes. Inside the car, it was warm and quiet. It was very different from my noisy life. We arrived at my small, old apartment building. He did not ask to come in. He looked at me with a serious face. "Brittany," he began, "I have a proposal for you. It is a strange proposal. Please listen." I was nervous. What did he want? "I am a very rich man," he said simply. "But I am also a very lonely man. My wife died many years ago. My children are grown and they live far away. I have a big, empty house. You have a bright, beautiful spirit, but you struggle so much. I see you are tired. I see you worry about money." He took a deep breath. "I want to help you. I want to give you a good life, a life with no money worries. You can finish your studies. You can travel and see the art you love. You can have everything you want." I was confused. Why would you do that for me?" His next words shocked me. "I want you to marry me." I looked at him. I could not breathe. Marry him? A man 43 years older than me? It was crazy. It was a scandal. "I am not asking for a romance like in the movies," he said softly. "I am asking for companionship, for your bright smile in my big house, for someone to talk to. In return, I will give you security, a future." I thought about my life, the constant worry, my tired body, the dream of a better life. Was this my chance? People would talk. They would call me a gold digger. They would say terrible things. But in that moment, I also thought of his kind eyes and his gentle voice. He was the only person who really saw me. I looked at him. My voice was just a whisper. I said, "Yes." 3. My new life. We married 2 weeks later. It was a small, quiet wedding at the city hall. There were no guests, just Robert and me. I wore a simple white dress. Robert wore a dark suit. When he put the big diamond ring on my finger, it felt heavy and cold. My new home was not a regular house. It was a very big mansion with a large iron gate and beautiful gardens. Inside, the rooms were huge, with marble floors and gold taps. It was like a palace, beautiful but cold and very quiet. My footsteps made echoes. I felt very small and lost in the big house. Robert was kind. He gave me my own beautiful bedroom and a credit card with no limit. He told me to buy new clothes and anything I wanted. I bought nice dresses, but when I wore them, I felt like I was wearing a costume. It did not feel like me. I was Brittany, the poor student. Now I was Mrs. Brittany Barnes, the wife of a millionaire. Soon, the public scandal started. My old friends from college stopped calling me. When I saw them, they whispered and looked away. The newspapers wrote many cruel stories about us. They had pictures and headlines like, "The Old Millionaire and His Young Bride." I cried when I read them. Robert found me and held me close. "Do not listen to them, Brittany," he said. "They do not know us." Life in his world was not easy. One night, Robert took me to a charity dinner. All his rich, older friends were there. The women wore expensive jewelry and looked at my simple dress. They smiled polite, but cold smiles. They asked me questions like, "So, what did you do before you met Robert?" Their eyes looked hard. They were judging me. I felt like a strange animal in a zoo. I stood by Robert's side, smiled, and said the right things. But inside, I felt more alone than ever. I had a beautiful house and no money worries, but I lost my old life and my friends. I was just the old millionaire's young wife. 4. The locked room. The big house was full of beautiful things. There were paintings, sculptures, and old books. It was like a museum. Robert told me I could go anywhere I wanted. "This is your home now," he said, but there was one door that was always locked. It was at the end of the long hallway on the second floor. One day, my curiosity was very strong. I wanted to see what was inside. I found an old key in a drawer in Robert's office. My hand trembled as I put it in the lock. It turned. The door opened slowly. The room was a bedroom, but it was not like the other rooms in the house. It was like a room from the past. Everything was covered in white sheets, like ghosts. There was a soft smell of old perfume in the air. On the wall, there was a large painting of a woman. She was beautiful, with dark hair and eyes that looked sad and proud at the same time. I knew who she was, Millionaire, Robert's first wife, the woman he loved very much. I felt a strange, heavy feeling in my chest. It was jealousy. I was his wife now, but this woman was everywhere. She was in the photos on his desk. She was in the stories his friends sometimes told. And now she was in this special, locked room. That evening, I asked Robert about her. "I saw her room," I said quietly. His face became sad. He looked tired. "That was Alina's room," he said. "I could not change it after she was gone." "You loved her very much," I said. It was not a question. "Yes," he whispered. "She was my whole life." He did not say more. He did not have to. I understood. I was not the love of his life. I was the person who came after. I was here to fill the silence she left behind. I felt like I was living in a ghost's house. I slept in a beautiful bed, but I felt like I was sleeping in another woman's shadow. The cruel words in the newspapers were one pain, but this secret pain in my own heart was much more difficult. Was I just a replacement for the woman he could never forget? 5. A new person. A few months passed. I started my